Del Toro takes real chances with the directions in this film. Welcome back, Film Festival fans. We are continuing our journey through the London Film Festival 2022, and today we are discussing Guillermo Del Toro's Pinocchio, which tells the classic story we know and love, but with a unique Del Toro touch, following Geppetto, who, mourning the loss of his son, builds a wooden puppet in a drunken rage to fill the void in his life. And as Pinocchio comes to life as a result of magic, Geppetto must try to teach him to obey and be good. But Pinocchio's curious nature leads them both down a path that will change their lives forever. The idea of a Guillermo del Toro doing a Pinocchio movie fills me with absolute glee. Number one, because he's one of my favorite filmmakers. Number two, because this is a passion project for him. He has tried to take this off the ground for about 10 years, I believe. So I'm really happy Netflix gave him the opportunity and a platform for it. Number three, you learn it is a stop-motion animated film. And number four, the inherently dark aspects of a story like Pinocchio, where it's a fantasy tale, but it carries these aspects of body horror, and they so fit the imagination of a Guillermo del Toro, who continues to bring unique tales of fantasy to life and keeps validating them, giving them prestige in the eyes of elite Hollywood, who keeps looking down at genre stories, and he keeps bringing these to life with human conflicts, human emotions in a sophisticated way that makes people recognize the value in these stories. And Pinocchio is a story that feels specifically catered to his twisted sensibilities, taking us on this wondrous coming-of-age journey with valuable life lessons tackled in a very sophisticated, mature way, exploring complex conflicts, emotions, and themes surrounding grief and fatherhood and mortality. And all of this comes to life in a very Guillermo del Toro way. This is his first ever animated movie, and while he does not direct it alone, his style, his sensibilities, all the nuance that comes with his stories are all present in here, where all the fantasy elements are inspiring and wonderful, make you smile, they warm your heart, but there's an inherent gritty and dark atmosphere surrounding all the fantasy, grounding it as the setting is an Italy under the control of fascist Mussolini. And this film dives fully into that darkness. That setting is not just background dressing. It is a part of the story that interferes with the journeys of Geppetto and Pinocchio. And I think this is an excellent counter-interpretation to the 40s Disney classic, which I grew up with. To me, that has always been the story of Pinocchio. I have never read the book, but the themes present in that story just give way to what Del Toro is doing here, and he proves that taking risks and having a unique voice brought to life to a classic story that has been tried and tested and recently butchered, in this case, very much pays off. Stop-motion animation veteran Mark Gustafson is the co-director with Del Toro, who again is coming into his first animated movie, and this might just be the best looking stop-motion animated movie I have ever seen. The craft is so detailed, so meticulous, and so emotive. All the characters are immensely expressive, even the ones who don't have a mouth, like Jiminy Cricket, or Sebastian J. Cricket, as he's known, voiced by Ewan McGregor. There's just so much to be impressed by when it comes to the visuals in this film, be it the setting with grand landscapes and imaginative locations, be it the detail in each individual character brought to life, where you can just understand who they are just by looking at the design. There's this fascist general played by Ron Perlman, or Christoph Waltz, who plays the circus man who wants Pinocchio to be his puppet, and David Bradley's Geppetto, who not only gives an excellent vocal performance, but the character is so immensely expressive. There's this kind of Clone Wars style design when it comes to Geppetto, but it's not computer generated. It's a real figurine brought to life where every movement, every expression, you can just imagine the detail that they went into to have all those little movements and twitches when it comes to the beard and the wrinkles. And of course, everyone really does a great job when it comes to the voices in this film, and there are a few surprises in here. And not only that, the lighting and colors, the use of shadows add so many layers and textures to everything we see on screen, from those wider, grandiose landscapes to the most intimate close-ups on each character. The cinematography here is astounding. The pre-production for this must have been a nightmare, hence why it took Tio Guillermo so long to get this off the ground, but it is so encouraging to see filmmakers thrive and see it come to life in such a way. Guillermo Del Toro's imagination once more comes to the conversation because he creates so many imaginative, fresh takes when it comes to Pinocchio's journey that I don't want to spoil, but they are such fresh additions that this story feels at points completely new. Honestly, when I was less invested or interested in this film was when it went by the familiar beats of a Pinocchio story, but even in those, Del Toro is able to add a little bit more of magic that was never there before, and that is unique to this take on Pinocchio's story that never stops warming your heart, but also making you fear. It also never stops surprising in both aspects. The way the film continuously takes risks on getting darker gives it a real sense of gravitas and stakes. There are moments where my jaw was dropped that they actually went there. But when it comes to warming your heart as well, this film is surprisingly a musical, and the music is wonderful. Not just the excellent, sensible score by Desplat that fits so much Guillermo's storytelling, but the songs themselves are great. There's a song about defying Mussolini that focuses on poop, and it's actually really good. I'm just so immensely happy that Guillermo del Toro finally got to bring his Pinocchio to life with his unique voice, building up from the very beginning to this immensely satisfying emotional crescendo where it never feels like anything in the story or the characters was compromised. I don't really have many issues with this film. Again, I just felt less invested when it comes to the familiar Pinocchio beats, but Del Toro takes real chances with the directions in this film, with the setting, with the animation, the visuals, the characters. It's all so uniquely his, and his sensibilities as a filmmaker are wonderful. But before we carve our way into my final thoughts on Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio coming to Netflix soon, I need you to start the conversation about it in the comments below. Did you catch it at the London Film Festival, at Netflix by the time you find this video? Anything and everything down there. If you're enjoying my LFF coverage, there's more reviews right here. If you're enjoying this Pinocchio review, or if you just love movies and TV, this is the place to be, so consider clicking that subscribe button and you won't miss any future conversations on your favorite movies and TV. Guillermo del Toro crafts an awe-inspiring fable, both dark and whimsy, reinvigorating the classic tale with his boundless imagination. Sublime stop-motion animation and a wonderfully melancholic score by Desplat make this the most thematically rich and easily the best Pinocchio movie ever made. And I'm giving Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio a B+. That is what I make of Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. Don't forget to let me know your thoughts on it in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining my LFF coverage. Big thanks to my channel members for always supporting the channel, and I'll be back very soon with more. So until the next one, love each other and love the movies.